Welcome to my channel. My name is Dennis. In this video I'll be working out exactly how much the Corvette C8 would cost me if I was to drive it 5,000 kilometers, 10,000 kilometers or 20,000 kilometers a year for 5 years. Stick around till the end of the video to see where this car comes in my value leaderboard. Also, I'll be covering how much this car would cost me if I was to buy it with finance and if I was to include opportunity cost. There's a lot to get through, so let's jump onto the computer and start going over the figures. For those of you who are new to my channel, I'll quickly run through my spreadsheet. So step 1, we've got car depreciation, running costs and finance. Step 2, we've got fixed costs, and step 3, we've got dimensions, weight and performance. So starting off at step 1, you'll see here that I've got the C8 on the left hand side, and to the right of this I've got the BMW M4. I'm using the M4 as a benchmark. Starting off at step 1, manufacturer's warranty. Both only come with 3 years manufacturer's warranty, which isn't great in this day and age. A lot of cars have a minimum of 5 years. When it comes to the fuel, the C8 is a bit more thirsty. Car purchase price, the C8 is $4,155 more expensive. Now moving on to the car sale price. This is probably one of the hardest things to forecast when it comes to filling out this spreadsheet, and it's made even harder because the C8 hasn't been around for 5 years. It's the first time Corvette have sold a factory right-hand drive here in Australia. Now, what I did to get the depreciation rate was jump onto an American website called Car Edge. They have a lot of data on what Corvettes have been selling for over the years. Now currently they're saying that it's only depreciating by 18% over the 5 years, which is awesome. Only time will tell if it'll be the same down here in Australia, but for now we'll just leave it at the 18%. If you like money and you want to hold on to it, I'd advise you don't buy a BMW. They just hemorrhage money. This M4 here over the 5 years is selling anywhere from $95,000, meaning it'll have depreciated by over 46%. A massive sum of money. We're saying that we own the vehicles for 5 years and we're doing 10,000 kilometers a year. Forecasted maintenance costs over the life of the vehicle. I'm being nice to both cars here and leaving this section blank, because bear in mind you're going to be driving these cars 2 years outside the manufacturer warranty. If anything goes wrong in this period, you're out of pocket. Now moving on to the servicing costs, I'm getting an average cost per service over 7 services for the Corvette. This works out to being $1,236.29 every 12,000 kilometers or 12 months, whichever occurs first. And the BMW, the only way I could get a service cost out of them was if I was to buy a service plan for the 5 years. Now that works out to being $840 every, around 16,000 kilometers or 12 months. I say around because BMW say that the car will let you know when it's due for a service. The next video that I'm working on is the total cost of ownership of the Hyundai Kona N. So subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification next to it so you don't miss out on this video. Moving on to the tires and braking components. So one thing that stood out to me was that the actual brake pads on the Corvette were dearer than the rotors themselves. I don't think I've ever come across this when doing a car. I'll jump onto my other Excel spreadsheet here to show you where I came up with the figures from. So here we've got the components cost, the labor cost and the total amount. To replace the pads and discs will cost around the $7,320, which is some ball of cash. Another thing that stood out to me was the battery cost. So the C8 has a standard battery, only $275, where the M4's battery will set you back $2,800. I'm saying that's lasting 10 years, where the Corvette is being replaced after 5 years. Fuel costs, so the M4 needs 98 octane fuel in it, and the C8 will accept a lower grade 95 octane fuel. So finance, for now we're leaving opportunity cost blank and finance blank. We'll come back to this later in the video. Step 2, we've got fixed costs. So registration is more expensive in the C8 because it's an 8-cylinder and the M4 is a 6-cylinder. We pay per cylinder here in Queensland. Insurance is cheaper on the C8 over the M4. So combined, the C8 is $307 cheaper per year in the fixed cost department. I'm leaving cost per month blank and one-off payments blank. That brings us on to step 3, dimensions, weight and performance. This has no implication on the cost of the vehicle, but I'll go through a few of the interesting figures. Power is in kilowatts and the torque is in Newton meters. So obviously the C8 has more power and torque, but it does 0 to 100 in almost a second faster than the M4. That's quite impressive. Now moving on to the dimensions, I've got a measuring tape here for everyone in America. The length, the BMW is 164 mil longer, which is about there. The Corvette is 46 mil wider, which is only that. And the height, the Corvette is 160 mil lower. The Corvette is 161 kilos lighter than the BMW. That's about 2 of me. Now, the moment that we've all been waiting for, the total cost of ownership over 5 years doing 10,000 kilometers a year is, drumroll, $82,418.61 for the C8, and the M4 will set you back $127,870.68. So that's a saving of $45,452.07 if you end up buying the C8. An absolute massive amount of money, I think you would agree. If we look down here at the average out-of-pocket cost, which doesn't include the sale of the vehicle, they're actually very closely matched then. The BMW is slightly cheaper, but once you factor in that depreciation, the BMW doesn't stand a chance. Down here we've got a summary of all the costs. Like I mentioned earlier, by all means pause the video if you want a closer look, but we see again that depreciation is where the BMW really loses out. If you're finding this video interesting, please give it a like. That'll help my video be recommended to more people on YouTube. Thank you very much. Now let's say that we do 5,000 kilometers a year. That works out to being $184.64 saving if you buy the Corvette. Now let's say we do 20,000 kilometers a year. Now you'll end up saving $142.60 a week if you buy the Corvette. Now let's move on to opportunity cost. We'll put the distance back to 10,000 kilometers. And we're going to set our opportunity cost at 5%. So this means instead of buying a car, you end up investing the money. You'd end up losing out on the opportunity of earning $50,000. Now let's move on to the finance. So we'll remove opportunity costs again. Now with finance, I could only get $100,000 finance on the vehicle. So now I have to put down a down payment of $81,755 for the Corvette, and the BMW's $77,600. And that's over 5 years. So the repayments are $494.91 for both. So you'd end up spending $28,676.60 on interest alone for the car. Now let's see where these cars come in my value leaderboard. The Corvette is in 22nd position and the BMW is now in 24th position. These prices are leaving out opportunity costs, and we're saying that we're buying the vehicle outright, and we're traveling 13,000 kilometers a year, which is the average distance that we travel here in Australia. I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope to see you all again soon. Bye for now.